Well, hello everyone. Let's pop the cork on this. And I am so happy to be here with you. Oh, the last few days of 2025. Hello, Judy. It's good to have you back. I went live on, when did I go live? Thursday? Anyway, no, Friday. So it has only been a couple of days, but we had fun with Greenery Lane, but not enough fun. I had other ideas. So we're going to do a few more ideas today with this new bundle that's coming live to customers on January 6th, live to demonstrators or as part of a starter kit right now. Okay, so don't be sad if you were expecting to wait until January 6th, because you don't have to. You can put it into a starter kit. And if you would like to join my team, I would love to talk with you about that. You can pop on over to the link in the description of this video, thestampingzoo.com. Hit the Join the Zoo Crew tab. You can read all about me. You'll find my phone number there. And I'm happy to just answer questions. It's a no pressure invitation, all right? But you will have lots of benefits coming your way simply by taking advantage of Stampin' Up's starter kit. Hello, Deborah. How are you doing? It's nice to have you here. And I know you've had lots of family time, baby time. I hope you've been having fun. Did the baby enjoy all of that? Or was the baby like, this is enough interaction? Maybe the baby was half and half, kind of like me. Like, I enjoy it, I have fun, and then I need a break. So it's very, very understandable in both ways. I always say that I guess you would classify me as an introvert if you read things, because I kind of need to be alone to recharge my batteries. But then I feel like I also love getting together with groups of people and finding out about them. So I bought a really cool dining table today. It's round and the leaves, both sides fold down, which is very good because I really have no dining room. I don't have I just have a great room area. And so I need a smaller table most of the time, but I would love to have had a little bit bigger table for when, in particular, like I'm fixing my brows. Let me fix my brows here for you. Okay, they look good now. So anyway, I needed a little bit larger table. And so I've been watching on Facebook Marketplace, or I think it's called Sell Your Stuff Boise. It's a local Facebook page. And anyway, then a table came available. And it was perfect. And the lady even delivered it. And she only charged me $20. So I gave her $25 for delivery. And it's perfect because it's round. The sides fold down. But you can put a leaf in it. And so it'd be great for my team meetings. It'll be great for some of my smaller stamp camps. And then everybody can be together. I like that a lot better. Might even be able to work for my book club. We'll see. So anyway, I have options now. So glad to be here with you to craft, and my nose is itching. Why does that happen? Do I stir up the dust when I come in here or something? Maybe. Thank you so much for sharing, everyone. I really appreciate that. And so, as I said, we are live Sunday, December 28th, 4 p.m. Mountain Time. But whether you are live or on replay, I welcome you. I am Lisa Harden. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and my business is The Stamping Zoo. I sell all the beautiful Stampin' Up! Products that I'll be using today, as well as, I don't know, 1,000 more. I also design and hold classes, both in person and online. I have free crafting classes here with you via Facebook and YouTube every Thursday and Sunday. I also have an email list that you can join that will give you all the zoo news all the time. And that'll include links to my classes very easily, and free tutorials now and then. So hello. Hey, Ethel. How's it going? And Ethel shared. Thank you so much. Oh, Jean says, watching from a crappy North Dakota. Snow, wind, sleet, and cloudy. Yes, you're getting it all in one day, aren't you? We all have really nice weather. It cooled down here considerably. It's not 60 anymore. It's more like 35 to 40. But the sun's out, so it did snow a couple days ago for about 5 minutes, and I thought, here it comes, but nothing. So I am remaining neutral on that. If it comes, great. If it doesn't, well, it makes it a lot easier to get around. So let me, let's see here. Everything's looking good. I'm going to point you down. How about that? And let's get to going because this is pretty fun. Lisa's camera, where is it? Now I'm in stereo, huh? There we go. Here I come. No, that's not good. No, just a minute. Sorry, I'm clicking around. Oh, okay. It's like I haven't done this for a long time or something. That's not true. It was only a few days ago. All right, let's bring in the camera. I just ordered another phone yesterday. I thought that was a great idea. But you kind of have to do that. And so I'll be going from an iPhone 13 to a 17. And pray for me, y'all. Let's see if it works. Okay. It's not going to be for a couple weeks. I was hoping it would come here sooner, but I don't think I'm going to get the phone until the 9th. So, all right. So this is Greenery Lane. As I said, it is in pre-order status right now. So that means you can add it to a starter kit. Or if you're an existing demonstrator, then you can purchase this now. Otherwise, it's live to customers January 6th. And it is a bundle, not a suite, but it goes very easily and well with lots of other products we have. And I am going to use the same paper that I was using the other day, Nature's Elements, I believe. I'll double check that name. But this is, let's see, there's some of the stamps. Lots of others are on blocks. There are 15 stamps for definitely all occasion sentiments and an all occasion feel, masculine or feminine. So this is very versatile, right? Okay, so let's jump in. I'm going to show you a card I made, and I don't care for the colors, okay? But you don't really know until you make it. So this one I made because I wanted to do a little stamping. I love the techniques. I love the layout of it. It is on a vellum base. So we will be making a card on a vellum base, but also we are going to change the colors, okay? And so let's jump into that one. All right, and well, you know what? Now hold on. I had a technique that I think we're going to use for both cards. Yeah, let's do this technique, okay? And then we're going to use this piece as die cuts that we can die cut shapes from. So this is a piece, it's a quarter sheet of soft sea foam, okay? And I'm going to bring in a couple of colors that are included in the paper. And so the paper is called Nature Walk. Sorry, not Nature's Elements, but it does have natural elements on it. And it has, there's the piece that I used. Deborah has so many crafts and classes to catch up on. I love it. Probably feels fun. Get to just wake up and choose. Okay, and then there's this one. I've been cutting into all of them. I actually made 2 cards I didn't care for today. But you don't know until you make them, really. And so anyway, there's there's some neutrals. Then there's these rich Mossy Meadow, a pretty peacock, and then a little bit of relief with cloud cover and Secret Sea. And so the other day, in case you weren't with us, we made 2 wreath gatefold cards. Okay, we made this one, which I think I prefer the square wreath just because it's unexpected, but not to be outdone. We've got the round wreath too, okay? And we focused on using the washi tape that comes with this. And I have a couple of hints on this I was trying to pull out a whole pattern, and I think that's not necessary. I'm not going to do that anymore. It was too unwieldy. So I'm just going to cut around the images, you know, after I open it up like 4 or 5 inches. I'm going to cut around the images, and then that's where I'm going to stop. So I'm not going to wait until I have a whole panel, right? I'm just going to, let's say, take my scissors and cut at this point. And then I still have lots of images, but it's not super long. That's where one whole pattern is. It was too hard to keep straight. So that's my advice. And I think that it'll work a lot better, or it did when I cut it into chunks after we worked together on Friday. And then I finished cutting, and I really liked it much better. I liked it much better using the mini cut and emboss and cutting so there were only like 3 or 4 images on a piece of cardstock. So that's my tip for the washi tape, and I love it. It's so pretty. It's already kind of watercolor elements, and again, I stuck it to white cardstock. You can die cut it directly as just washi tape with no layer underneath. Just remember, you're going to have to find a place to put that because they'll be stuck onto your clear cutting plates. But it can be done. You can also put other colors behind it to enhance or change the look of it. You might use a basic beige or one of the greens and so on. I think it would probably look really great on the soft sea foam, you know, because that doesn't take away from the detail, but it's not stark like the white. So in case you need some more options with the washi, there's 10 yards of washi. That's a lot of washi. To me, 10 yards usually in ribbon, if you have a ribbon, it usually makes 30 cards. You can wrap 30 cards with 10 yards of ribbon. So I think you're going to have all the leaves you're ever going to want with the roll of washi. And you haven't ever used vellum as a card base. Well, I'm glad you're here. This vellum, especially this newest iteration of our vellum, is it's even better than it was before. It was always thicker than other vellums on the market, and now it's even thicker, and it makes a great card base when you support it with layers of DSP. But I think it's kind of fun because you can see, you can create a border that's just in the background, right? And then when you open it up, you can see the full piece of the cardstock. And then you do the same thing back here. You get kind of a shadow matte around it just from that piece in the center. So we'll create something that's kind of fun, hopefully. Okay, now we're going to get our blending brushes out and do a technique that I haven't done in a while. So that's always fun. Now I have all sorts of brushes. Oh, I have some clean brushes. Where are they? I hate to use, I'm still here. I hate to start from zero with my brushes, but I'm not seeing any that are green all of a sudden. What? Well, we'll just treat ourselves and get some clean brushes out. The blending brushes can be washed and used over and over again, so don't worry about that. I just haven't done that for a while. So everything's kind of already inked up with a different color. All right, I think they're over here. Let me see, where have I stashed those? Yep, sure enough. Okay. Well, I can show you what they look like when they're brand new. That's always nice. Okay, so we sell 2 different sizes of blending brushes. They're both in packs of 3. I guess these are just called blending brushes, and these are probably called small blending brushes or mini blending brushes. Okay, so I like to have both because sometimes you want more detailed areas and sometimes you're covering a large area. Let's use, oh, well, here we go. Blending brushes. Look, 153611 is that price, or is the item number for that. Small blending brushes, 160518. is the size for that. If you're looking for this or any other products, please just jump on over to thestampingzoo.com, hit that Shop Now tab, and it will take you into the secure Stampin' Up! Website where you can look around and shop to your heart's content. Lots of beautiful things over there for all types of paper crafting. I am primarily a card maker, but we have lots of products for memory keeping, for home decor. Maybe you want to create a calendar for the upcoming year. We have products for everything. Anything made out of paper, okay? So let's bring in a couple of colors. First, I want to look at the Designer Series paper and make sure I grab those colors. But I know I want Pretty Peacock. So I'm going to grab that. And is there any Old Olive in here? There is Old Olive. Okay. And I love that. And there is cloud cover in here, but let's see. I wonder how that's going to play off on soft sea foam. I also don't want it stark. I feel like I don't want it stark white. So we'll just give it a try with the different greens and then probably put it on one of the dark blue bases. So let's do dark blue card base. Sorry. And then let's bring in the real dark one, Mossy Meadow. Okay. So we go from teal to like a brownish green. Okay. Looks fun, yeah? Let's see. How would we do this? It would go this way. From teal clear to brownish green. Almost makes that look like navy when they're kind of sitting like that. Okay, so we're just going to pounce with the blending brushes all over this. It is an easy technique because it doesn't matter how fine or how strong the color is. In fact, I like it better stronger. And it can have swirls in it. We want to have some motion and things in this. So I'm not going to blend off or anything like that. No, I'm not going to do any of that. Let me start with the lightest of the colors. So I'll start with the Lost Lagoon first and then move on to the Old Olive. Okay, and then this way. Just because I don't feel, I want to kind of have these four colors evenly on this paper, somewhat. And so I'll do the best I can. Let's see. Now, when you first start this, it takes a little bit to ink up the brush because the brush is quite thick, as you can see, and it also has thousands, I don't know, tens of thousands of bristles probably. And so it takes a while to load the brush. And once you get some on there, then we're just going to come around here. And like I said, we're going to load up, or we're going to color most of this paper. And the soft seafoam back behind it, again, just falls in line with the rest of the Designer Series paper, okay? Without being stark white. But sometimes the stark white is nice, as is the case of when we use the washi tape and I had the white back behind it. I think it really helped to spotlight the leaves. Okay, that's enough of Lost Lagoon for now. Okay, and then let's go a little Old Olive. All right, let me move this in a little bit. I know, it looks ugly. Just trust me. I mean, it looks like, well, that's not very nice. Now, this does use more ink than just inking up stamps, right? So you might need to re-ink after doing this process a little bit, depending on how many, if you really start liking this technique, make sure you've got some re-inker handy. And then you can just re-ink your ink pad. Also, I kind of suggest when you're doing this kind of a technique where you're bringing the blending brush in a lot, try to run it over Don't just blend in a little circle. Try to run it over the whole ink pad. I feel like that kind of massages the ink into it as well. Okay, so then that looks pretty good. So we'll do this. So I watched The Bishop's Wife this last night and this morning. I finished it this morning. Hello, Trish and Sherry. Very nice to see you guys popping on. And this is, I am referring to the movie that is Cary Grant, David Niven, Loretta Young. It's old. Classic. Let's call it classic. And I love it. It's so good. So anyway, I mean, Cary Grant. What can I say? A gorgeous specimen of man, even in black and white. I don't think I could have handled him in color. No, he was in some color Technicolor movies, but oh, at the end, Loretta Young tells him to leave, and I'm like, what? Okay, spoiler alert. Sorry. It's like 40 or 50 years old, so I think you already know if you were at all interested in watching it. But I love it. It's one of the really good classic Christmas movies. And I do think, I mean, don't quote me on this, but you can double check me. You know the channel TCM, Turner Classic, is it Turner Classic Movies? Yeah. Lots of times they had like the backstory on things. And I wasn't watching that. I don't have that anymore, so I was just watching it as a regular movie. But when I started watching it last night, it reminded me that I swear when they were talking about this show, okay, I'm going to move over to small. First of all, it's the brush I have left. And secondly, this is the darkest color, and I really don't want to get crazy and put too much on, okay? So this will help me, especially when I'm blabbing on and on about a movie. So anyway, what I think I heard was that Cary Grant was initially offered the part of the bishop that ends up being played by David Niven. And then after Mr. Grant read the script, he wanted to be the angel. And I was like, of course, that I would have never cared for David Niven as the angel. Not that I don't like him, but he just was he was the bishop. That's who he should have been. So anyway, what do you think? Have you watched that show? Are you going to watch it now that I'm mentioning it? We're getting all sorts of weird stuff on this, aren't we? So we have that soft sea foam coming up from underneath, and then we're, blotting out most of it though. And I'm going to take a minute and get this out of my way, or I'll be wearing it. That's okay. It's some of my favorite color combination. But I'm kind of wearing Lost Lagoon today, to be quite honest. So it might just work. Okay, but we're going to hold off on that. Which provider do you use? I don't use any provider anymore. I just use applications. So I just have, I have a few streaming services. Okay, I got rid of Dish. That's what I was using. And now I'm just using YouTube, and Peacock, Netflix, and Prime. I was paying for those before. I just also had Dish, and then I realized I'm not watching Dish anymore. This is kind of dumb. Okay, I've already messed this up. This was Lost Lagoon, and now I'm bringing in Pretty Peacock on it, but that's life. They are very similar. So let's see if I can bring some more Lost Lagoon in to the last little open spaces. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right, so you can come in, you can do this technique with any colors, with just one color, tone on tone, whatever you want. But let's just see what happens when we start die cutting into it. Okay, so this was the color combination that we used. Of course, I was inspired by this paper, right? And this paper, same sheet of paper, just very different on the ends. Okay, let's move these guys. I think we're done with them for now. Thank you for your service, gents. And now we're going to die cut this. Okay, so we're going to, let's see, we're going to cut a couple of these detailed pieces, and then I'm going to stamp over it and cut as well. And I've got a card that's going to be based mainly Mossy Meadow, so we can play off of that really with any of the colors. And then our vellum card that I was talking about, I want to take one of the papers that is mostly like teals and maybe a little bit of cloud cover if we can make it work. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these out because that just is a weird thing I have to do. Okay, and there we go. Okay, so I'm going to run this through just a regular sandwich, okay, and then let you see what we get once we kind of spotlight these little areas with a die cut. Hello, Mitzi. How are you doing today? Glad to see you popping on. All right, let's see what we get. It's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. Okay, so, oh my. You get a watercolor effect, except it's very easy. You can do it on any type of cardstock. You don't need special watercolor paper. You can do this effect and then die cut it with watercolor paper, and you'll get that extra piece of texture from the watercolor paper itself. But this is very fun to do also. Just one more technique. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to get these as close as possible so that I can use as much of the paper as possible. Okay. And like I said, then if you start really enjoying this technique, the sky's the limit. You really can't do it on glimmer paper, I guess, other than that. You could do it on designer series paper. You can also just die cut out of designer series paper as well if you want to get this kind of mottled multicolor look. But this technique with the inks is completely customizable. Okay, both of those are gorgeous, right? I think they are. I'm going to give them a round of applause. And then let's bring back in Pretty Peacock and Mossy Meadow. And this is what we're going to stamp the images on. And I don't know that the images are really going to stand out that much. I don't need them to. The outline part. I just need a little bit of detail so that they don't just look like a blob, because these aren't open die cuts that we're going to be using. These are just outline die cuts, right? So the rest of them are just kind of outline die cuts. So I want to add a little bit more detail. I didn't have to do that with this one because this is like a detailed die cut. All right, let's go with a little bit of Pretty Peacock. And let's do 3 or 4 different shapes. And since we're just trying to get these close, and we need to leave a little space for the die cuts themselves, right? But we're not putting them in any specific order. Now I'm catching a glare. Okay. Nice firm pressure, again, because you're working with those dark colors, okay? And so forth. So let's do this one. Again, you just have to make sure that you leave yourself enough room so that you can die cut. You're going to be able to die cut a couple at a time. All right. And I'm going to take this one off because I can't quite see this. This one's my favorite. I feel like it looks like olives. I don't know what it is specifically, but it's probably not anything specifically. But I feel like it looks like olives. So it is for mine. Isn't that pretty? Okay, now let's do, I might want some more in that color. There's one that's kind of small. Where is that? Oh, it's this guy. Okay, well, since I'm on my glass mat, I can come into this corner and see how much I can get. Okay, that's good enough because these will be overlapping, kind of like we did it on Friday with the washi tape versions. Then this will be, you know, we're kind of making them look lush, and so we'll have a few that are overlapped. Let's put one more in here. Let me take this off. Okay, and let's put one more in here. All right. Okay, let me cut those out so I don't lose track of which is which, okay? And first, I'm going to clean these off. Now, I am just using the chamois today. When I was using Cake Day the other day, oh, that was during Zoobilee, but still, when I was recording it, I found that I really needed to use the Stampin' Scrub. It really helped with those particular stamps, so don't forget about your Stampin' Scrub. I also feel like the chamois is kind of a day cleaner, and then the Stampin' Scrub might be what you would use like on Sundays to deep clean. Okay, so that's how I think of them. But if you have a stamp where you're like, this is just not getting clean in the nooks and crannies, use the Stampin' Scrub and some Stampin' Mist. All right, let me, hold it. Let me bring this in. I'm going to use the mini. Okay, we can do so because I can just cut right along here. Sometimes I really prefer using the mini. If I have small images like this, I feel like I have better control. Sometimes if you're using the standard size and the dies pop off or something, I don't really know where they go. Okay, well, that's kind of my issue sometimes regardless, but I have better control over this one. So, is everybody having a good, to me, it's a Christmas break. Is everybody having a good Christmas break, Christmas weekend? Did you see any movies or start any books? What did you do with your last couple of days? I am taking this coming week off. These few days have already flown by. I'm like, just whoa. But one reason is because I haven't gotten up until 10. Okay? I kind of woke up at 9:30. Actually, I keep waking up early, like my body wants to go to work. And then I go, you know what? No. So I might lay there for about a half hour and then I go back to sleep. But I got to get off that because it's making my days really short. So I will. I'm going to start tomorrow. A couple of friends and I are meeting at Starbucks at 9:30. And so that will be good because it'll make me get out of bed at least by 9, at least. Even if I'm just going to, you know, go down there and basically an outfit like this. Okay, and once again, then you get to spotlight all the detail in your little piece of paper that you did. Ooh, I love it. An extra way to use this technique is just to stamp right on it, like we're doing here. And let's get this piece out. Okay. Nice. And let's see here. I have no idea what I'm having for dinner tonight, but I have plenty of things in there. And I have not eaten very much today, so I am going to get hungry here pretty soon. And I wish somebody would give me the perfect idea, but I've got some Asian things that I bought at Trader Joe's, like easy, you know, veggie rice, frozen shrimp, already peeled and deveined, and some spring rolls. And so I might just do that. I think that sounds good and different. It's non, for me, I haven't had that type of food in several days. So I'm like, okay, that sounds good. But I also bought things for a really yummy salad. Now I think I'm going to have this instead. So greens. So I bought butter lettuce. And then I'm going to use a poppy seed dressing. Dice a delicious smelling pear. Okay, Bartlett pear. Candy pecans. And dried cranberries. And crumbled blue cheese. Oh, doesn't that sound good? I'm having that tonight. A delicious winter salad with lots of things on it. But, ooh, yes, I like that one. And this one too. See, they're all just like these little works of art, but so simple. Okay, who's done this technique lately? Or are you glad I'm reminding you of it? I don't know what you call it. This would be how you would start the technique called Joseph's coat, and then you would cover it. So this would be how you would begin Joseph's coat. So then we're just stopping. Hello, Alicia. And hey, Corinne, very nice to see you. Jean says it's very quiet days. It's just been too nasty to run around. I get ya. There we go. Lots of being lazy. You know what? There is a very valid reason for just letting yourself rest. Okay? Once I retire, I'm probably going to rest for a month. And then I'll be like, all right, now what's the plan? I'll have to have a set amount of days or else it could like just run into 6 months. But I could see myself doing that. I guess that's what I've been doing the last 2 or 3 days. Yeah. Okay, now we are done die cutting everything that was cut with the detailed cut and then cut in Pretty Peacock. All right, so now let's do some that are stamped with Mossy Meadow. You haven't done this technique. Okay, well, I'm glad to know. Thank you for telling me. Okay, here's my favorite again. Ooh. I hope we have, I'll try to squish them together as much as I can. Delightful. Love it. Okay, now I just can't really see. That's the only bad thing about trying to use both sides of the block. It only works sometimes. Okay, and then let's clean this one. That one's kind of big, so I'm probably only going to get one of those. This guy. Let's see. Can I get both of these in there? Nope, I cannot. Let me put this right in here. Okay. We might need another one of these because they are small. And so, how about there? I sound like I'm congested or something. I certainly don't feel like it, but I'm wondering. I feel fine though. That part's good. I think I survived Christmas break without catching anything weird, and nobody seemed to be sick, so that was very nice. Okay, and am I missing anything? I mean, there's one that's large. There's one that's quite large. We used it yesterday. I don't know that we're going to use that one again. Is this my, oh yeah, that's my little guy. This to me looks like Lily of the Valley. Okay, well that's all we're going to get out of there. So that's what we're going to die cut. We're going to make it work. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh yeah, we're fine. Okay, so as you can see, this works really well if you just have some little dies, because you get a lot of different variation, I think. But you can do it with any size too. Just think you get a lot of bang for your buck when you're using the little guys. Okay. Now we have not left the house today. We did not do a WALK. We've been most of the days that I've been off, which was great, including Christmas. So then I was like, you know what? I think I'm just staying in the house. Today is the second day that I said I was going to clean my kitchen. Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. I was going to clean my kitchen window along with the blinds in the kitchen window. Today was the second day I said I was going to do that, and it is also the second day that I did not do that. So I will attempt to do it again tomorrow. You know, you need a certain amount of light, and that's going to be my excuse. It gets dark. It's dark early, and so I'm going to have to just make a point. No more fun die cutting and stamping until I get that window cleaned. Oh, now this one went off a little bit, but this side looks good, so we'll hide the other side. Okay, or cut it, use a partial, something like that. All right, and then put these guys in. So again, if you're just joining us, this is Greenery Lane. This is a new bundle that's coming out in the January to May catalog. January to May 2026. What? That's crazy. And customers can order from it beginning January 6th. But you can really order from it right now if you would like to purchase a starter kit. Okay, so for $99 plus tax, you get to choose $125 of product of your choice. Okay, so you get those products. You also get a past paper pumpkin kit. You get business supplies, whether or not you're going to use them, you can have them. And then you just get to be part of a lovely crafty community, the big community of Stampin' Up, and if you so choose, the smaller community of the Zoo Crew. That is my team. And we do stuff together every month, both live at my kitchen table, right, at my new dining table, and via Zoom. So you do not have to be in Boise, but if you are, we do get together in person. And would love to have you join. Everybody can contribute something fun to the Zoo Crew. So if you are looking for a demonstrator that can give you all the information as you need it, but I'm not pushy about your choice. Whatever you do with your demonstrator status is totally up to you. Okay, so I just like to be the provider of information. That's how I see one of my main roles as the team leader. And of course, I need to have fun and laugh a lot. Your Fred has been very needy. All he wants to do is snuggle. When did you get a kitten, Jean? This sounds adorable. And I think, yeah, I think that sounds good. I think he's doing what kittens do, right? Or they play at night. But snuggle in the day and play at night. Is that how it's going? Okay, let's bring our card things in now, okay? So we've got this piece of vellum, 5.5 by 8.5. We're gonna score it at 4 1/4, just like you do for a regular card base, except keep in mind, while the vellum is heavy duty vellum, it's still just vellum, okay? So when you are using the, when you are scoring it, so get your cutting blade out of there. Don't tear down as hard as you can. That is not necessary. And you could actually cut through it with the scoring blade. Okay, so just nice and light. That's all you need. And then we're going to burnish it with our bone folder, just like a regular card base. All right, and then we're going to choose our papers. Now, that's why we did all the die cutting of the elements first, was so we could choose our papers and focus on what the die cuts look like. There we go. Ooh, looking good. That's definitely a possibility. I think we should have one of these. That is a possibility, but it's very dark. So, and also we're using that on the next card. So I'm going to cut 3 panels, 3 3/4 by 5, and 1 panel 4 by 5 1/4. So 3 3/4 by 5. There's one. Gorgeous. And let's get some other paper that's kind of fun. This is great. We haven't used this yet. Oh, hold it. Oh, there we go. Oh, it has like some lined paper, like a grid paper in cloud cover. Not going to work for today. I think I want to cut into this like this. And so 3 3/4. I'm being lazy, keeping that one up there. As long as it's not getting in the way of the cutting blade, then it works. But it has backfired on me before. So then there's a piece that we're going to use. And then let's see. I think I'm going to end up putting everything on this one. Oh, let's see. Yeah, this is going to be the peacock. Yeah, that's pretty. And this one's going to go over there. That's quite pretty. Okay. Second piece. And then let's see what we have for a third piece. I'm sorry, I can't hold this in front of you while I am trying to choose. There's a really dark secret C. Let me see about this one. Hello, Lois. Oh, I do love this paper so much. So let's use one of those. Another 3 3/4 by 5. And you know, let's see here. How much do I have left of this? I guess it's okay to cut it 3 3/4. That's kind of a usual layer for me, so. Kind of want this side. And it's so dark that the colors, some of these will pop off of it. So there's that. And then we just have to decide, okay, what's the color of cardstock that we're going to use on the inside? That's 4 by 5 1/4. And I kind of want to use soft seafoam again. Let's take a look at it. Awesome. I feel like I used my last kind of larger piece when we just did our technique. Let's see. Oh, nope. Not big enough. No, ma'am. We need to cut a new sheet. I want to kind of look at it up next to the colors anyway. Perfect. See that? It's going to look good. Okay, so this is going to be 4 by 5 1/4. It's going to be the largest one that you're going to see back behind all of the other pieces. Okay, we may stamp on that. If you'd like to, let me know in the comments. Oh, it's a stray that wandered. Oh, Your grandson set out water. They would leave for the weekend, and he was always there. And so now Fred is yours. I love that. Super cute, Gene. He found the lap, and he's like, I'm not letting go of this situation. Okay, so you can see there how we are able to get a nice clean score on this. I am going to help it out though, and kind of hold it together and then burnish it into place with my bone folder. And then you have a card base. Kind of boring though, so we're going to do what we can to zhuzh it up. So the first piece that I put in is the largest piece, and then that guides the other pieces, okay? So it goes in kind of a wonky order if you are trying to have a layout like I have. All right, so first of all, we need to decide, are we going to have our sentiment on the front? Are we going to have our sentiment on the inside? I almost kind of want to have the wishing you well on the inside. And we could also do this kind of a layout if we wanted. Just thinking about this. You could also stamp this and trim it into 3 different words if you wanted. But I think let's do one that is landscape orientation. Okay, just for more versatility. So I haven't made one. No, I did make. Take that back. Last week's were gatefold landscape. Okay. I'm gonna get some grid paper here. I haven't stamped this sentiment yet, so I want to. In Pretty Peacock, why not? Again, you can pull in all those 4 colors. I wouldn't personally add more than the 4 colors that I started with. As far as inks, that's enough for me. But gives you a lot of choice. And yeah, normally these are stamped up at the middle or the top of the card, but I kind of like this, right? And they just make a little note at the top. Thinking of you. Hey, we're going to the party without you. Wishing you well. No, I'm just kidding. You could also just say, thank you so much for being such a great hostess, and I'm wishing you well, right? So it doesn't need to be, I hope you feel better. That kind of a thing. Yeah. Hello, Jenny. Jenny, how are you feeling post surgery and surgeries? And I hope you're feeling well. And I hope you were able to have some fun over the holidays. All right, let's see. We also have pieces from the other day, if we want to add those. I feel like I want to keep it similar, but we have them. Oh, we could do this kind of a situation. It's possible. Whoops, sorry. It's possible. We might want to do tone on tone, right? And so we'll keep that in mind. Okay, but this needs to go on the card first, because then we're going to use this to know how to place our smaller pieces. All right, I'm going to use a regular seal. I wouldn't really suggest using liquid glue onto the vellum because it is kind of semi-porous. It's not porous like cardstock is. It's semi-porous. Since this piece guides the rest of the pieces, take a few seconds with it to get it straight. You can even bring in your any tools you have, little rulers or whatnot. I just was looking at the grid paper, okay? Because, again, that's how you're going to see, it's going to be an outline for the rest of your layers. And oh my goodness, when I stamped this on the bottom, note to you, don't stamp it too low or it will be in the way when you're trying to do that. You're okay. You're a little tired. Your hand is doing great. Yes, I'm sure having problems with opening bottles, that probably will come with time and physical therapy, huh? And you get a B12 shot. That's good. I had those for a long time, and they seem to be helpful to me to not be so sluggish. Okay, again, I'm kind of using this as a guide, right? And that is going to go down. Now I can turn this one over, and I can grab my next piece, whatever I want, and put it in here. I think I'm going to choose this one because it has a tiny bit of kind of coordinating paper. And so I'm doing this one next. Like, I don't put the inside in first because I want the front to guide this piece because it's going to go right on top of it. There's no layering. I mean, there's no matte effect. Okay, so you want to get them right on top of each other so that, again, when you look through, you can still just see the soft seafoam there. Ooh, that's so pretty. And then finally, you can bring this piece on. This is so simple, but I love the effect of vellum as the card base. And if you want to make it even more kind of see-through, then cut this layer down, also 3 3/4 by 5, and then you have like a really large border of vellum. I like it both ways. Okay, and then with no decorations, here's your card, or there's your card in this case. Okay, and then just like that. Okay, now we have all these pieces to play with. And let's see here. Whoops, come on now. We need a focal point for them. I feel like this is probably going to go on the back or maybe inside. Let's see. Oh, that could be quite pretty. Okay, that's a possibility. And then let's bring in a little shape. I was using the, oh, here we go. I was using the Nested Essentials. This one might be too large though. I'm going to use the Nested Essentials on the next card for sure. But we could put it down here and just put, thank you, love, hugs, or nothing into it. Let's just put like 3 embellishments. I know, stick with me. All right, so I think I want to use, what color paper? Not garden green, but this is, you know, they brought in garden green. We could try soft seafoam again. We could try it again. We know it matches. We know it looks good with everything. And it doesn't create too much of an effect. It's kind of a neutral a little bit. Okay, let's try this. Top plate always seems to be running off. So let's see here. I watched The Bishop's Wife. I started a book, an Audible book. I can't tell you the name of it. I think it was called Witness of Murder, A Witness for Murder. It is a British series, and it's not overly gory or anything. It's just kind of interesting. And there are 2 characters that kind of get thrown together. There's not a natural pairing, and so that's kind of fun. Yeah. So anyway, so I started that, but again, just on Audible. I started it when I was driving the car over to Christmas, and I'm so taken with the fact that I can just pair my phone to the car now. Super easy. Yay. And so I was doing that. We might need a larger one. I think we need the larger one. Sorry. Okay. Sometimes you don't know what you don't know. But I want to show off all these pieces. They're so pretty. You know what would be cute in here is if we had the word friend. Now I can look that up on the Stampin' Up website. I'm afraid it might freeze us. But you can look up just one word and then see which stamp set includes that word and then go looking in your stamp sets, right? It'll show you the current. Yeah, okay, this is going to be a lot better. And then do one down here. And so we move these around a little bit. Now I'm just kind of dry fitting them, and I'm going to get my low tack tape out so that once we get it where we want it, we can make sure it doesn't move, right? Right. Okay. And then maybe we'll have this up on dimensionals, and this can come in. Have that one little piece cut. That one little leaf got cut, didn't it? Well, we're just gonna cut it off. And then maybe we can use this over here. Okay, what about this really dark one? Yeesh. It's quite dark. And so is that one. How'd that happen? This is the piece I really like. Well, I can't put it in there right now. No, that's too close. Look, I'm going to just have to steal. I'm going to have to steal a mossy meadow from the other side. Yeah, we got to have that. And I don't really want that stem. There we go. Okay. See if we can play. And then let's lay this down. Carefully, carefully. I know that's a little cockeyed, but we'll fix that part when we lay this down as one image. Okay, so we are putting the low tack tape on top of that so that then when I want to glue it or bring it in with dimensionals, I don't have to replace, put everything else back in place. It's already where I had it, okay? All right, so, and they might move a little bit on you, but at least when you have that on top, you can kind of move them around and still have a little bit of control. Okay, I really like that. I have no idea what I'm going to put on top of this. I can search for defined sentiments. Absolutely, Judy. You can. I mean, like, be careful when you search something like love, because watch out. But I'm going to go over here right now, and if it appears that I'm frozen, just hang in there. I'm not really frozen. The computer's just frozen, okay? Let's see. And you can't see me. I'm not going to bring this on again. I don't want to mess up our recording, for goodness sake. But back behind the scenes, I just went to stampinup.com. I'm not even going to log in. And then I'm just going to put in the word friend into the search bar. And it is working. You can still see me, thank goodness. Okay, so it's thinking. And it's making me wait. Sorry. Okay, now it's spooling. Here we go. Oh, woolly friend. Hope you're still here. Hope you're still here. Oh, I may have messed it up, you guys. Okay, anyway, part 2. If I messed it up, I'm gonna grab the stamp set Perfectly Pairs back behind me. Let's see here. Perfectly Pairs, where are you? Come on, friend. There it is. Literally, friend. And then here's the word friend. Okay. Thank you. it said streaming stopped, and I was like, oh, dang it. I knew I pressed my luck. So this is going to be just a little friend, literally a little friend. And we're going to put it into this as we're going to put it as the focal point, I guess, of what we're really doing is just using these cool pieces of greenery that we made. Now let's see, am I feeling gutsy? I think what I can do, what you would have wanted to do first off is stamp it. But, that doesn't always work. I know you're like me and you think of these things sometimes not in order, right? So, good. Because I'm going to show you what to do if you think about it at the end and you're like, oh, you know what would be good is the word friend. Okay, I just want to make sure because we kind of have one shot or else, or else I'm going to cancel this video real quick. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so I can see where that cuts off and I can see where I want to put the word friend. And so I shall. Sorry if my head's in there. No, it's not. Okay. Okay, hold your breath. And you can always move the leaves, right? But I was trying to make it, seem like really. Look, I think it looks great. Okay. So, yeah, you can put words in and find them. But it'll bring up everything, right? Like when I was reading it to you, it brought up woolly friends. It brought up everything with the name friend in it. But I like it. Like when you put thank you in, then you get all the stamp sets that have thank you in it. And it's very helpful. All right, first things first. A couple of these I know. Like I know this one is going to be down on the card base. Okay. And I know the main piece is going to be up on dimensionals. So we're going to go ahead and do that now. This is going to look a little weird. We're going to do kind of in 2 steps that. But I want to get those 2 pieces. These are like our anchor pieces. I want to get them put in place. Okay, so then just watch out what you're doing here. And get that one put in, and these can come up. And then, of course, oh, I didn't remove the backings. What a nut. Yeah, they're not going to stick unless you do that. Sorry, I'm reaching in here and removing the backings. That's pretty good. Okay, once you do that, guess what? It's going to stick just fine. Just make sure it's where you want it to be, straight-ish wise. And then, yeah, a couple of these are going to come off. But by then, you've got a lot in place where you want it to be. And so then you can just work around them. Sometimes with these, when they're little like this, it's kind of difficult. Okay, so then I'm going to glue the rest of these into place and or use dimensionals. And so like with this one, I want a mini. And I'm going to bring that right here. So I have everything sold, which I was only selling my pickup in my car. And the snow tires for the car were picked up today. I got a lot of cleaning and moving things around done in my garage. See, I've done some things. Okay, I'm going to give myself credit for that. And just some things like that have gotten done around here, actually. And I'm really liking my new car. Liking that it's just reliable, And yeah, it has current things like a backup camera, which is actually nice. lane assist, very nice, things like that. So the little gadgets are nice. However, I still find myself not really looking in the backup camera. I'm just looking like I used to look, you know what I mean? Like around me and beside me. And I don't really think that's a bad thing. If I can figure out how to use the backup camera in conjunction with my eyes, then that will be good. But I can't imagine that I will ever just use the backup camera and not turn around, because that's just luckily ingrained in me. Okay, and so see, we're just kind of, now that I know that word's so small, I'm going to come in a little bit closer, and we'll be putting some embellishments on this too. What time is it? 5:15. Good Lord. Well, the other card, I was going to make it from scratch, but we don't have to because I started it. And so at least you'll be able to see what it looks like. I mean, you'll be able to see it finished. Now those two, I think I'm probably going to put over there, but we may end up putting it on the inside. Okay. And then let me grab, I don't know what, because we have lots of choices for embellishments, but I do want to look at those pear dots, the dots that came with the Perfectly Pears, because they were a lot of the same colors. Let's see. Mossy Meadow, Secret Sea. Well, we could definitely use the Mossy Meadow. I think I have a new pack of this too, in case we really want them, but I don't want to bring in the Secret Sea. So we have that as a choice. We also, again, don't forget the shades of green hexagons that we used the other day. Basic rhinestones would look really pretty with it. They're a definite maybe. Ooh, antique pearls. That would be good too. Holographic resin dots. See, you have so many choices. Too many choices, some would say. And others would say, that's crazy. There are never too many embellishment choices. The backup camera is just a little more help. Yes, I'm sure I want to use it, but I forget. Like I said, I am still kind of forgetting that it's there. And then I go, oh, right. So I'll get there. I'll get there just fine. I think we're going to use, since this is such a simple card with the colors and such, I want to use kind of a wowzer embellishment. So we're going to use the Rhinestone Basics. Okay. And we have a little white space here in the form of just white space being blank space, right? And you have 3 different sizes of Rhinestone Basics. So they're super cute. And let's do some others down here. Okay. So there's the front of our friend card. And then let's bring in, so we still have these other couple of other pieces that we might want glued into it. I think that's quite pretty right where it is. And of course you could put it up here too. Oh, it's difficult. You have a hard time writing. I mean, I need a little room to write. So I'm going to put it up above. Okay. And you can use glue dots on this. I wouldn't really suggest dimensionals. I think that would make it really fragile. Fragile. That's a movie I haven't watched in a while. I mean, it's good, A Christmas Story, but it's not my favorite, and I've watched it a lot when it first came out. And also, I'm sure I watched it a lot when, I don't remember what channel it was, but they used to show it for 24 hours just on a loop. Okay, so yeah. I think I'm Christmas storied out. Tonight, what am I going to watch tonight? I might pull up The Bells of St. Mary's, which is another shop around the corner, and The Bells of St. Mary's are my favorite classic Christmas movies. That's quite pretty. And then we could just take you know, this dark piece that's Mossy Meadow, and put that back there. Because then it really shows up on the pretty peacock, doesn't it? Okay. Okay. Oh, well, I forgot it wasn't portrait, but that's okay. Okay, so here we have the front with that cool paper. You really can't choose wrong. And then this is on the back. Ended up being just fine. Okay, super cute. A nice friend card. Maybe you need to reconnect with somebody that you haven't seen since the holidays. And so this would be a nice way to do it, right? Okay, so let's bring in the second card. We're really just going to decorate it because time waits for no one. All right, but basically I want to show you, I'll show you the pieces that make up the card. Okay, it is a fun fold. All right, so it's one of these where it opens. Okay, and then we have lots of fun paper inside, but it opens like this. And my stamping was really weird because my ink pad was all goofy, and so I just re-inked it. But anyway, I was like, you know what? I kind of like it. And also, I don't have a lot of two-toned old olive cardstock. So that's how it's going to be. But basically, you need a regular card base, okay? 4 1/4 by 5, or 4 1/4, no, 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored at 4 1/4. Okay, then you need, I used two-tone cardstock inside. I think it provides interest and it's lighter weight. So for fun folds, I love having one of the layers being two-tone cardstock because it's a lighter weight. It doesn't make your card so bulky when you're adding layer after layer, okay? And it is scored, it's 5 by 8, okay? Scored at 2, 3 1/2, and 5 1/2. 5 by 8, scored at 2, 3 1/2, and 5 1/2. Okay, and that last piece ends up being right here. Okay, and then you fold up, over, and over. And so this is what it ends up looking like. See that in there? So you have like a little post almost. Okay, and so I've done some cutting again with the nested essentials. The first step is you need to apply your 4 by 5 1/4 piece of DSP onto the front of the card, but only adhere it around the edges, okay? And then you're going to run that, pretend this isn't here, run that through your die cutting machine, both layers, okay, with your die. So in this case, I have this and this. And then it pops out 2 different pieces because remember you don't put adhesive except for around the outside. So you get a piece of designer series paper that's this shape that you can use for something else, and a piece of the card base, which is old olive, and that's what I've used here, okay? Then you put the inside in, and I have cut 2 different pieces for the inside just to add decoration. What are they? I can't remember. They're both 4 3/4, okay? And this one is 1 1/4 by 4 3/4. And this one is 1 3/4 by 4 1/4. 1 1/4, 1 3/4, both by 4 3/4, okay? So I hope you can add comments if that was unclear, but just walking you through it quickly in the interest of time. Okay, and then we get to this point. So I have stamped it in Mossy Meadow here for you, and that is from the Greenery Lane stamp set. And then we have all these pieces again, right? And so we're going to focus, you can add them anywhere. Just be careful of not gluing them to this side and this, because that's an open space, okay? So you can do that over here, but not on the top or the bottom or this margin. Okay, and so one thing I thought might be kind of cool is if we expand it. I don't know. It almost has a lot of peacock in it, which is not bad. It's just not what I was expecting. Okay. And then maybe this with a little bit here. You know what I want to do? I have a piece. Here we go. I need some light. I need some lightness on this card. There we go. Okay. And so you just have to play. This is quite striking, actually. Maybe I just need to edit. That's quite striking. But then we need something at the top, too. Don't you think? Thanks, Corinne. You guys can help me. Oh, the other thing is I was thinking, what about metallics on this? What about... Where is that earthen... Something warm. Okay, and I was thinking about... No, not that. Where are you, sir? Okay, here. This earthen toned metallic 12 by 12 paper. It's good stuff. Let's see. I hope this is still in stock. I didn't see that it was gone, and I don't think it's on the last chance. Ooh, I don't think it's on the last chance list. I'm kind of loving it. So let's do that. Let's cut a couple of pieces out with that and see what we get. Okay. Now I'm not going to stamp on it. You can stamp on it with stays on. I'm not going to do that. We have saddle brown stays on though. It might work, but really I think that this is going to have a lot of effect. Okay, so I'll just do it over here since this is already set up. Let's see. And maybe the little guy as well. You want to run this piece of metallic paper through your die cutting machine as few times as possible, because everything except for a brand new top plate will scratch the metallic slightly. And so you want to just get as many, you know, like I said, as many cuts as you can out of as few passes when you're working with metallic paper. Okay. And so let's check this out. Ooh, that's pretty. Looks deluxe. It's a deluxe die cut. Okay, this piece is fighting me a tiny bit. Just because metallic paper has an extra, it's a little bit thicker. It has a paper backing, right? Look at that. Ooh, now look at this. Now, well, I did cover up my sentiment. That's probably not the best. But that's quite pretty. And I do think we can use these. I'd want a few of those. Oh, now maybe we could use this back behind it. Let's see. I need something to hold that down. Okay. I feel like there's more room on the top. I left more room on the top. Well, not really. I was going to say maybe we bring these down. If you're seeing something that you love, let me know. No, I still like them coming in from the bottom and this way. Oh la la, so pretty. Now again, you have to be careful with the way you adhere these because part of this opens, right? And maybe you do it this way. That's pretty. I like that. I'm going to use a glue dot on this little guy. Gonna have so many fun things going on in January. I hope you can join me for at least one event, you know, whether you are in person or online. Don't forget that I'm going to have something for lots of different price points, lots of different time frames, and or lots of different time commitments, I should say, and lots of different budgets and skill levels. So try to do as much versatility as I can. I see, I like it that way. Maybe that goes here. Yes, that goes there. Okay. I think we're getting there. Glue dots, just mashing them together. And then I'm going to put this guy here and this guy kind of offset so you can see the leaves. All right, that's very pretty. And if I take this away, nope, it still needs something. So you're just playing with editing yourself. But that's how I do it when I remember. Okay, I do really like that piece of soft sea foam. It just comes in and really brightens it up, doesn't it? Okay, that needs to be right there. And I need some help in keeping it there. And also, I don't want it to, how am I going to do this? It's going to have to span. Oh, shoot. It's going to have to be more tricky than that. We've got some geometry involved. It's going to have to span this shape, this sentiment shape, because this part comes up. So it's going to have to be like this. Okay. Ooh, we can put the U right there. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this part and a little bit of glue up here. That's too much. And this had not enough. So let's see if we end up with just right. That's where my U goes, my Y, I mean. And I'm going to try to keep it on the card base. Okay, and there, and there. Oh, look at me getting fancy. Thank you all so much for your comments and your sharing and your following and subscribing. And whether you belong on my team or you're just a lovely customer, viewer, even lurkers are welcome here. But I love it when lurkers finally start commenting and just saying hi. Sometimes it's scary, isn't it? I remember when I first started watching videos and I was like, I don't know if I want to say hello. They might say hi back. Okay. Now, since this piece is in front, I can glue this metallic piece to the soft sea foam and it will still hold it up. But I think if I put a glue dot here and then one here, that's going to be good enough. And so that's what we're aiming for. Okay. So glue dot there. Glue dot down at this bottom one, and it'll have to be mushed a little bit. Okay, and so I just kind of pull the insides in. Make sure that one's in. It's very fun when people can't tell where the adhesive is, right? It gets all just hidden. So I'm really laying this over the top and just bringing it down so that you have those two different layers. And there it is. Ooh, it's quite pretty. And once you do this a couple of times, then it will work. And what a nice encouragement card here for you with a beautiful little space to write. Definitely if you need a masculine here for you card, this is it. Okay, and let me bring in those, let's see here. Ooh, that's a different garden green. I almost liked it. What? Okay, I want, oh, here they are. They're right in front of me. Okay, I wanted the Secret Sea low profile sparkle dots because I thought they would look good on this. They still, they don't change the colors. We've got that metallic, so you could bring in, I think we have something called pressed flowers if you wanted to do something leaning towards bronze, okay? And if not, then use these. They're adorable. And I'm going to come from the card base onto the card, and I think that makes it kind of interesting as well. Let's do that again down at the bottom. So have you enjoyed this, or what are you thinking about Greenery Lane? Are you interested, or have I piqued your interest at least to give it a look? You can see that you can do tons of things with it. And again, it's good for masculine or feminine. It's got 4 sentiments that you know, it's just a nice all occasion set. And you can play with techniques. You can do fun folds. You can do all sorts of things, right? Okay, so these are our extra pieces. They're going to go in with the other extra pieces. And then I'm going to have all sorts of fun one day and just use these to make cards. They'll be super fast. Well, maybe not super fast, but kind of fast. All right, and let me bring the other 2 cards we made using the Greenery Lane and this DSP. I can't remember the name. Nature's Element. Where did it go? This paper is also not available until the 6th. Nature Walk, okay? Or again, add it to a starter kit. Okay, so tonight's cards, we have this guy here for you. Little fun fold. So you can see the beautiful paper. And it's very somber in its color, but it's a fun fold. So it makes it interesting immediately. Then you've got on vellum, okay, a much lighter color combo from the same Nature Walk paper, and lots of choices. Is this thing zoomed? I feel like we're zoomed in. Let me see. No, maybe not. Okay, good enough. So anyway, we've got this one, very nice with some pretty peacock and all the different greens. Okay, then we have this guy with our square frame. And if you'd like to remember these 2 at least, they're already on Pinterest. So if you're not already, please go over and subscribe to me on Pinterest. And now it will give you not only the photo, which is a quick snapshot, but I always link back to the videos where I made them. And I link back to the YouTube video because the Facebook videos only last for 30 days, right? So if you need a place that's very organized, then please use my pictures on Pinterest. Okay, and finally, totally flipping the script, but I have 2 Christmas cards to show you. I have one from our very own Deborah Babcock. These are actually from longtime viewers, both of them, Merry and Bright. And this is using the traditional labels and the Christmas greenery, all of that cool items from that suite, and lots of Wink of Stella. And then here's one from Anna. Anna, I loved seeing this card. It was from something project related that we did last year. And I love getting a card that I've designed back. I love it so much. So Anna, thank you. It's so sweet to see this cute little Santy again. and the pretty little glimmer paper we had. So thank you so much. I love your happy mail. It's so fun. So go make a card this week, or yeah, I was going to say weekend. No, go make a card this week and then send it to a friend because trust me, we all love happy mail, right? Oh, thank you, Lois. She really loves this last green card that we made. Lois, you can make your very own. Okay? And so thanks again, everyone. You will see me again on Thursday night, 7 p.m. Is that Christmas Eve? No, it's Christmas Day. That's fine. That's what we're doing. Or New Year's Day, sorry. So you'll see me on New Year's Day. Oh my gosh. The first live of 2026. I'll see you on Thursday, 7 p.m. Mountain Time. But like I said, like, share, and follow for more Zoo. And make sure that when you go over to the stampingzoo.com, if you haven't already, sign up to receive my emails. Okay? Very nice to see all of you. Have a wonderful night, and I'll talk to you soon. Happy stamping.